Hey everybody, welcome back to another Film of the Week. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Excuse me once again if the content's been kind of sporadic. Just been real busy, with work and other things, so just excuse me for that. But we're back with another Film of the Week. This one we're gonna keep short, mainly because I only have the house to myself for a limited time right now. And also, really, I don't have much thoughts on this. I just have just little bite-sized thoughts on this. So to, I guess to, as a precursor, I guess, to the upcoming Mufasa, The Lion King, I figured to discuss the its predecessor, not of which the classic film, to be honest, which I have not seen in many, many years. We're actually going to be discussing the 2019 version and giving my thoughts there. So let's discuss the remake to The Lion King, which was directed by Jon Favreau, released in 2019, and stars Donald Glover, Chiwetel Ejiofor, James Earl Jones, who most recently unfortunately passed away, um, as well as Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner, lots of notable faces joining this specific remake. And this is again another animated feature, as some people wish to point out is incorrect in their assessment. They want to say that, oh no, it's a different format of live action. But it's like there's literally no talking lions or anything like that in the real world. So in the format of which it's presented in, it's completely animation. It's just photorealistic. So, but it is a remake of The Lion King, and hence the story of The Lion King as it goes. We have Mufasa, who is the ruler of the Pride Rock, and he has a brother in the name of Scar who has some agendas against Mufasa. They have a bit of a backstory, hence the film that we have coming out now, which hopefully will shed some light on their brotherhood. In their kingdom, Mufasa has a son. His son is named Simba, and Simba is going to be positioned to be the next Lion King, but Scar has his own plans to gain rulership, and through that, tragedy occurs, and Simba is an outcast. And he meets some people along the way, some faces named Pumbaa and Timon, and through this, he has to learn the value about himself, learning to embrace who he truly is, and the responsibilities that he bears, and ultimately finding his way back to Pride Rock to become that of which he is destined to be, and that is, of course, as the title suggests, the Lion King. So, so, so as a remake goes, it is very much by definition a remake. It is pretty much shot for shot, a retelling of that original film. And in that, I think that there is an inherent flaw with the film already when you're having to do literally beat for beat, you know, what the original film is doing. There is some, to my memory, and from some discussions of the specific film, there are some small things here and there, some additional sequences, some additional uh, context that was not there previously, but basically, in essence, it is the same film. And there is an inherent flaw within that, with not being able to distinguish yourself, and just basically to a large capacity, just being a copy and paste. It does deflate the overall importance of this specific telling when it is virtually literally just telling itself the same way. Um, and the other real flaw to it is by design, how they chose to frame this, to represent this within the photorealistic expression. I feel as though that it's more gimmicky, or it's just more um, it's just adding a different detail that wasn't there previously. And I think again, in the spirit of how you do this in the context of a remake, quite literally so, just copying and pasting, you're very much limiting, what it is your product could be, your overall narrative of what it can be. and by expression, it feels a bit um, I feel a bit non-existent. And the same sentiment, I think, very much goes towards the the choice in presentation and the visual design. I don't think that the photorealistic approach, I don't think it was a great choice because, on one hand, we're doing an animated feature, and the principle of doing animation is expression. So when you're having to do these lions in such a manner that is real, in that these animals really don't have expression. It has to do with just subtle details of in how their ears move and stuff like that. You know, unless you're an animal expert, you're not gonna really understand a lot of what's going on here. It's more very much relying upon what is happening within the voice acting, and that's that's extremely limiting, and it doesn't give a lot of color to what is, in a literal sense, visually it looks nice. If I'm just to take away from what it is trying to do, yeah, it does look nice. But what it is, its overall purpose, its overall, goal within that expression, I feel is very non-existent. I don't get a lot out of these specific faces, a lot of just these kinds of expressions. Like that's literally how it is when they're talking, like in an emotional sense, or in a exciting sense, or in this and that. Like this is literally the face that you get the entire time, and it doesn't provide a lot of color. It doesn't provide a lot of understanding. It doesn't provide a lot of connections within the character. It just provides us such a distance, and it really calls into question, what the purpose of it is outside of representing it literally in a visual sense in a different way. So, so yeah, I felt it was very, I felt as it is, I felt that it was just very um, purposeless. I don't think that there is a lot to it. I don't think that there was a need to remake the film, especially in the way that it is represented. I don't think that they needed to do it, especially so if you're not looking to actually provide a new wrinkle to the story, because I know people had take issues with that whole sentiment about, if you're gonna adapt the story again, some people would prefer you to stay very close to the source material, where some people, like myself, would prefer a new wrinkle, because I don't want to watch literally the same movie again. I want to be able to see something of a difference to distinguish between the two. So, when the distinction is just a visual presentation, quite literally so, just a visual presentation, I feel as though that really the value of what I'm watching is very, very limited, and there isn't anything really of true value in terms of overall resonance, in terms of overall narrative. There just really isn't much there. It just feels like a product. It feels like something that was made just to draw a name value, just to gain, financial benefits out of that license, and not providing a new wrinkle to an existing story. So I don't think that there's much to it. I think that it really is just a matter of preference on a visual front. What do you prefer? Do you prefer straight 2D animation where there's a lot more expression involved, or do you prefer something like this where I really doubt there's subtlety, but if there is, I mean, it's very, very vague. I mean, it depends on really just your choice of flavor. Do you prefer chocolate or do you prefer strawberry? Like that's basically what it comes down to. And that really is not, um, you know, it really is just by look. It really isn't by overall heft and by overall just spirit. It's just a copy and paste with a different layering on top of it. So yeah, I really don't think there's much to it, and I think that it is very, very, very pointless, to be honest with you. I just don't see a lot of value in the form that that it is in. I think that more distinction would have made it a lot more understandable. But for as it stands, I just don't think that it does really much of anything outside of flexing a different flexing a visual style that really is not suitable really that complimentary and really does not provide much heft or much expression, which is crucial when you're building a piece of animation. And this just really doesn't have that. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on The Lion King. I really didn't care for it. I think that it bears a lack of purpose severely, and I think that it's just treading on that same story quite literally and providing little to new context, new wrinkles. It just doesn't is not really doing much of anything. So I'd be more curious about Mufasa because it is a brand new story. It is using the same mechanics and the same animation styles, but at least there they're trying to do something literally new on a narrative front and not just doing a copy and paste. So at least there's something there that is potentially more interesting than this. But that's left to be seen. But you guys, what are your thoughts on Lion King? If you guys have seen it, we're talking about the 2019 version, not the original film. But you guys, what are your thoughts on the 2019 remake? If you guys have seen it, your thoughts on Mufasa. If you guys have seen it, I don't know if there's any early screenings going on, but let me know your thoughts on that as well. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.